Alexander at Chaeronea. The sun rose over Chaeronea, casting long shadows across the dusty plain. To the south, the city-states of Athens and Thebes had gathered the last true coalition of free Hellas. To the north, Macedon stood ready. At its head, Philip II, the greatest general of his age, at his side his son Alexander, just 18, golden-haired and battle-hungry. The Greeks held the pass and the confidence of old victories. They had the numbers, the names, and the famed sacred band of Thebes anchoring their flank. 300 warriors, their valor etched into the hearts of all who feared their spears. Philip knew them well. So did Alexander. That knowledge made them dangerous. But Macedon had more than numbers. It had discipline and a plan. The order came in silence. Advance. The Macedonian phalanx marched forward like a moving wall, sarissas gleaming, shields locked. The Athenians and their allies met them with fury. The earth shook with the first clash. Steel rang on bronze. War cries rose like thunder. Then, unexpectedly, the Macedonians began to fall back. It was not panic, it was choreography. Philip himself led the right wing up the low slopes behind the battlefield in a slow, deliberate retreat. The Athenians saw it and smelled victory. They surged forward, shouting, cheering, convinced that the day was theirs. In their excitement, they lost formation. Their line stretched, then splintered. The sacred band did not move. The Thebans stood firm, suspicious of the retreat, too seasoned to take the bait. That discipline became their doom. The Athenian charge left a growing gap between them and the steadfast Thebans. A hole opened in the Greek line, a hole wide enough for a god to ride through, and into that gap thundered Alexander. He led the companion cavalry himself, a spear in his hand and fury in his heart. They didn't strike the sacred band head-on. They cut around them, encircled them. The trap snapped shut. The band fought as they always had, back to back, unwavering. But they were surrounded. There was no retreat. They fell, every man, not one breaking rank, not one begging quarter. When it was over, the plain was silent but for the wind. Alexander dismounted and walked among the dead. The smell of blood and dust clung to the air. He saw them, men in tight formations even in death, arms still wrapped around one another. Their courage had not failed, only fate had. He was troubled, deeply. Not by the victory. He had executed the maneuver flawlessly, proved his mettle, justified his command. But by the cost. These were not mere enemies, these were heroes. Greece's finest. He said nothing to his men, but later he would speak of the band with reverence, never disdain. And some say that when the Lion Monument was raised on that field, it was at Alexander's quiet urging. For in breaking the sacred band, he had not only defeated an army, he had shattered a symbol. Some victories are carved not only in stone, but in sorrow.